Ay, ah! Out here! Strong survive! What's up, chat? Oh! I'm here for the hot tentacles. Yeah. The tentacles will act as censorship to hide any kind of lewd activity. Thanks to the tentacles, you won't see anything happening. That's the plan. Nice. Didn't know you streamed? Yes. Most people don't. Everyone's like, what? Even though I always post the link it on my Twitter. People just don't really tune in. Streaming is not a career. Not if you miss the boat. Faster. Man, drawing feet is always hard. Doesn't help that, much like drawing guns, you have a small subsection of the internet who's just gonna stare at the fucking feet for like 30 minutes trying to make sure that it looks properly Kumable. Foot Coomers and gun Coomers are like the worst people on the internet if you're an artist. Oh, excuse me, artist. I noticed that I don't think the soles of that foot you drew were properly expressing the female spirit in the moment. I require more erotic souls. And then the gun Coomers are like, excuse me, sir. I noticed that the pistol you appear to have drawn is a H&K 30 model, but I'd like to point out that the firing pin in that model is not positioned there. That's actually probably from a different model from the 1930s. I can't draw for shit, I just doodle. Most people can't, sadly. There is a massive industry of telling people that they can learn how to draw. And yet, besides the small number of Japanese people on this planet, the vast majority of those people do not get good at drawing because it takes a lot of time. The old man who bend their woo! This is the Metal Gear Rising Revengeance soundtrack that they play during the boss fights. This toe is too big. My streams start with me playing hype music and screaming, and then playing a non-hype music for about an hour, and then quitting or playing gachi. Someone is getting fucked? How would you think? Why would you think that? Stop accusing me of silly things. Feet are hard to draw. Can't show that in a Christian manga. Stop trying to get me banned, guys. Why would you insinuate such things? Also, fuck Twitch. For some reason, I've noticed that... Does anyone who follows Twitch shit know what's going on with payment? Because I think I've been streaming the same amount, and have the same amount of subs, and yet it seems like my my monthly Twitch payment went from like 130 or 100 plus to like down to like 95 for the last 2 months, and I'm pretty sure it's just because Amazon has finally started fucking with how they pay people. Does anyone know what's going on? Hey Shiro, thanks for the Prime sub. I appreciate the support. I guess it's not Prime. I can't tell the difference between Prime subs or not at this point. 20% loss, damn. I mean, it's barely much enough money to live on to begin with, so it doesn't make much difference. It's just like, we knew that they were going to start shafting people soon, so I'm just wondering when the shoe's going to drop. Is it almost time to migrate? I mean, do other platforms even have any payment system? If I'm just migrating because I want more money, I don't think there's any place that's necessarily going to give me more money. I mean, Kick is on Amazon servers to begin with, so I can't imagine they're going to be profitable for very long either. Or not profitable, but they're going to support whatever server costs they have in the long term. If they're being more generous with whatever payouts, that's just to grow their platform, and they're operating like a loss leader right now. And then at some point they're going to tighten the belt and the same shit's going to happen. Watching, streaming, grinding, guiding lands, life is good. One thing that you can't really do if you want to be good as an artist is to like do any kind of grinding besides drawing. Like video game grinding. Is because like you might have enough time to enjoy a video game for a few hours and like play through the main story as in the tutorial fucking mode. But then it's like now you have to grind for 2,000 hours to get, you know, the attack up charms that you want. It's like, yeah, good luck with that shit. Your art is too sexy for most places. YouTube definitely would not welcome me. I'm pretty confident of that. Oh wait, he's supposed to be younger, so I have to redraw his jaw. Thanks for the tier 1 gifted sub to the community. Thank you, Just Plain Lucky. YouTube would demonetize you pretty damn quick. I don't know, I don't think it's worth it. I'm not really big enough of a streamer anyways to be making money on any platform from streaming, so... It just feels like messing around on the edges. Whatever effort I'd be putting into switching streaming platforms, I could just make that money back by driving a few hours of DoorDash instead, or like taking another commission. Have a nice day. Does anyone actually here actually watch Kick? Like, I imagine the only people who ever go to Kick are the ones who actually want to see the real hot tub streams. But Twitch has that shit locked down pretty hard as well, so I can't see why anyone would go to Kick in general. Society. Are you happy to have found a VTuber you like? Eh, not really. She hasn't been doing much recently. Maybe she's been live streaming. I always need more content to have on in the background when I'm drawing. So any YouTube content that isn't like, "Hi guys, it's me, Mr. Beast, and I took a giant wad of cash and I threw it on this street in Venezuela. And now we're gonna see which people, you know, murder all their neighbors to get the most money. This is such wholesome content." And everyone's like, "Yay, I love Mr. Beast." Anything that isn't that shit is welcome content to me. It's a shithole in there. I remember that I was following Paladins, which is like Overwatch except better and less popular, and Hi-Rez, the company that makes Paladins and Smite, was like, "We had a really successful esports LOL season when 30,000 people were watching the finals. This is great. We're going to move all of our streams exclusively to Mixer." That's right, guys. The future of video game streaming on the internet, Mixer. 2 years or 3 years later, Mixer is fucking gone, Paladins esports is gone, and Paladins is almost gone. Also, Overwatch is almost gone. Overwatch esports is almost gone. It's all fucking dead. I wish there was a way in which I could have shorted the esports economy somehow. Like a shitty stock. Because that shit was, it was pretty obviously going to fail within like the first year. And there was a pretty long period in which Blizzard was in denial that their Overwatch League was savable. Imagine being like a fucking billionaire and you get convinced by Blizzard of all companies that esports is the fucking future, and if you pay whatever, how many million they paid for the rights to a fucking esports team, it was gonna pay off in the long run. You're the owner of the LA Gladiators, guys. Oh man, look at all these totally organic fans that have shown up at this stadium cheering for their fucking video game. Their incredibly shitty video game to watch and play, in which most of the skill comes down to pressing your alt button at the right timing. And if you're watching it and you don't play the game, all you see is a bunch of like blurry fucking colors as the entire screen is full of junk. Hey Sea Monkey, thanks for the Prime sub. I appreciate the support. Overwatch and its consequences have been a disaster for the Gooner race. The fact that their new characters in Overwatch 2 LMAO are entirely uncoomable and have no porn for them is like the final nail in the coffin. You know they're fucking over when they can't even design coom-worthy characters anymore. What is it with Microsoft buying up these companies after they become completely worthless? Meanwhile, Counter-Strike is still around. Counter-Striker will be around forever, for better or for worse. I forgot that I have porn on in the background to look at for references. Okay, now it will show up. It's okay, it's a small thumbnail. It's just people wrestling in bed. Counter-Strike is actually fun to watch. Yeah, if you play the game. I don't think it's that much fun if you don't know the maps and shit. I think easily the most watchable esports LMAO video game genre, if you don't actually play the game, is still fighting games, because you don't have to have any kind of map knowledge. You can easily tell who's winning, right? It's two people, both of the characters are on the fucking screen, right? Which is very important. There's a Hawaiian character in Overwatch. He's supposed to be Jet Black in the Cowboy Bebop collaboration. He looks like the principal from American Dad instead. Is this the character that is literally The Rock's character from the Disney movie that they just threw in there? It's actually, like, shocking. We've had this discussion many times, but it's actually kind of shocking how far the video game industry has fallen within, I don't know, several years. The downward spiral has been incredibly rapid, especially on the Western video game publisher front, in ways that I could not have predicted. I was like, these are capitalistic corporations. Surely they will not forget how to produce the product that they're supposed to sell, but that is clearly what has happened. The West has fallen. A lot of the East has fallen as well, except for, like, I guess Capcom and, you know, From Software, and that's about it. But, like, the West has truly fallen. I was watching a YouTube video because, YouTube keeps on fucking recommending me Asmongold, because just based on the type of other videos I've seen, they're like, you must like Asmongold. So I'm like, fine, I'll watch one Asmongold video, and it was Asmongold reacting to another video, which is his job now, of the Diablo 4 Season 3 leaderboard update, and how it took them like an extra month to release some sort of special new content for Diablo 4, and it's just a bunch of randomized copy-pasted rooms that you run through in a sort of speed-running fashion. They're just literally reusing assets that they've already made. I'm just like, holy shit. Blizzard actually doesn't have the ability to produce anything anymore. It's not even an exaggeration. Giant companies grow too big to actually do anything interesting. People grow tired and start smaller studios. Smaller studios grow bigger and the circle repeats. I'm not sure it has always been like this. I mean, I've been a gamer for my entire life, since ever I could buy consoles, and we've always had shitty publishers that would shit out stuff where you're like, damn, they're scamming you. But I don't think it's gotten to the point like we are right now, where you're like, oh, they actually can't produce the product itself. Like, what has EA made recently besides their, like, yearly sports titles? I mean, EA has always been usually the shittiest of all the video game publishers, so that's why I raised them as an example. But, like, I don't think we've been to the point where it's like they can't actually make things anymore, you know? Battlefront. Didn't they re-release the old Battlefront games or something? You can actually look this up. EA published games recently. Okay, since 2020, they have published Command & Conquer Remastered Collection, Sims 4 Eco Lifestyle, Rocket Arena, Madden NFL 21, EA Sports UFC 4, Madden NFL 21, The Sims 4 Star Wars Squadrons. That's actually a proper video game, although nobody really remembers or cares about it. FIFA 21, NFL 21, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered, Sims 4, Snowy Escape, Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. This has got to be like a gacha, right? Oh, it's VR, yeah. VR games are vaporware at this point. It Takes Two, one of the few video games they've actually had, but it's like an indie co-op darling, which I'm not going to touch. Mass Effect Legendary Edition, so another remaster re-release. Knockout City, a battle royale that got cancelled recently, I believe. Yeah, it's been shut down. Sims 4, Dream Home Decorator, F1, Sims 4, Madden NFL, Lost in Random. This is actually a real game. So they're indie houses that are... They're probably not in-house, right? They're picking up video games that are already made and then like funding them or publishing them. So those are actual games. FIFA 22, NFL 22, Battlefield 2042, the turd on top of their shit sandwich. Delicious. Battlefield 2042, Grid Legends, Sims 4, F1, Sims 4, Madden, FIFA, NFL, Need for Speed Unbound. This is also a remaster, right? Oh no, right. It was released, but nobody paid attention to it. Dead Space, another remaster. Wild Hearts, which they were just publishing a Japanese company who wants to be Monster Hunter. Lord of the Rings Heroes of Middle-earth, mobile Lord of the Rings game, Super Mega Baseball, F1, The Sims 4 Horse Ranch, really appealing to the female customers there. Immortals of Venom, the Twitch ad, oh no wait, this didn't even get added. Immortals of Venom that came and went, which was only known because it was a Unreal Engine 5 game, absolutely bombed. EA FC 24, NFL 24, EA Sports. Yeah, so they literally haven't announced anything, guys. They haven't announced anything coming. They haven't made anything. It's insane. Like, it was not like this in 2010. It really wasn't. Or even like 2015. Like, these companies have actually lost their ability to produce video games. The games that are being produced, the indies, aren't being produced by in-house studios by EA, I'm pretty sure. I think they're just getting picked up. To think they could be polishing Titanfall 3 right now, but they chose not to. Instead, we get Apex, which is a pretty solid first-person shooter, if you can, especially if you consider that you can play it for free. But you know, it's not like a full video game. So this is a good time to be alive as a gamer if all you want to do is get in your squad and do Discord chat and jump around in Apex or something. Then they began making exclusivity deal that effectively destroyed their competition. Stagnancy followed. But I was just raising EA as an example, but this is basically every Western video game company at this point. Blizzard is incapable of producing games. EA is incapable of producing games. Ubisoft, it's like they made the same game, but it's like, it's not a new game. It's just like Assassin's Creed. We're going back to Assassin's Creed. Like, it's never been this stagnant or just straight up incapable. The reason I dropped The Sims after Sims 2, the moment EA tried nerfing the modding community, I knew the franchise was dead. If you can draw, you can do your own Sims on the page. You can commit unspeakable acts of cruelty to your own manga characters instead of doing it inside the Sims environment. You don't need mods, guys, just buy our shitty DLC. I mean, it's just like Bethesda, except they need the modding community to actually fix their game before it's even playable. And people don't play the EA sports games anymore either. Like, it used to be Madden was king, but whenever you go on Twitch, the only sports game that people are playing right now is NBA 2K. So they've kind of lost their sports monopoly as well. They paid God knows how much money for the Star Wars franchise, and that's like fucking dead as a doornail. Like, within 15 years, maybe even 10 years, all the giant corporations somehow managed to successfully kill all of their money-making IPs. It's kind of crazy. It really shows you what happens when you give too much power to these corporate suits who don't actually produce anything and are like, we have this IP, now we have to make money off of it in perpetuity. 10 years to basically kill everything. EA is dying. I mean, I'm not even sure they're dying. They're just supported by their fucking gambling addicts that are buying the FIFA gacha game. Like, do they really need to produce actual video games if they can just sell the FIFA gacha packs for, I don't know, $10,000 worth of FIFA gacha to each one of their whale customers? Like, Blizzard is also dead as a video game company, but as a gambling company for people playing Diablo Immortal, they're still doing okay. Talking about how gaming is going to shit? Yeah, man. I mean, it's like, I'm sort of thinking about it because Dragon's Dogma is coming out this month, and it's like literally the last video game I'm actually looking forward to on the horizon for like the next, I don't know, 20 years possibly. At least from a major publisher. I'm sure there's going to be like some good indie stuff coming out. I don't know, I'm just in awe of these corporations and their ability to kind of fuck themselves over. Elden Ring DLC, I mean, that's not a new video game, but sure. Apparently it's fucking huge, so I'll be playing that as well. Games are now slot machines. The effect of people who are unable to suppress their gambling addiction has been like disastrous on everybody else. You can't compete with somebody who is going to drop $20,000 because they can't control their fucking brain chemistry, right? Valve hasn't changed and has set itself into a pedestal for still having some place of integrity. I mean, part of it is it's owned by Gaben, so he doesn't have to answer to the stockholders. The other is they don't have to worry about profit because they get to take fucking 30% from everything that's on their storefront. So they're fundamentally, I mean, it's not like Valve is producing a shit ton of games themselves, right? They just make whatever money that they make off of the storefront, and then every once in a while you'll get something. You'll get some scraps from Master Gaben. Let's not pretend like Valve is like releasing shit regularly either. I mean, they just released Counter-Strike 2 and the whole Counter-Strike community was fucking absolutely up in arms at the quality and not being able to keep their skins and blah blah blah. Now, I don't know if those are legitimate complaints or not because Counter-Strike players are basically insects and they're gonna complain no matter what you do, but I'm not pretending like Valve is in so much better place. The only like new game they've released recently is Half-Life Alyx, right? Unless you're counting Artifact, LOL. Remember Artifact? The problem is hearing what the suits say. They just care about their pockets. They will not care if a company falls for it. I just don't understand how these companies are so fucking stupid to be like, we hired this CEO, and if we fire him, he needs to get a bonus as well. It's like, well, what kind of motivation is he gonna have to actually be good at his job? Anybody who believed in the invisible hand of the market of capitalism in our current stage of capitalism is just like, yeah, that shit isn't really working. Play Artifact, bitch. Yeah. R.I.P. everybody who's like, I'm gonna use my life savings on Artifact. MBA holders are god-tier grifters, yes. My business degree means I definitely know what I'm doing. Hey NeverX, thanks for the sub. I appreciate the support. The problem is that they don't act like investors but impatient children who want their money tripled now. This is why Pal World coming out was such a fucking breath of fresh air. When I read the developer blog that the person who was funding it had literally like emptied their entire bank account and they were going to have to start to go into debt to finish the game if it didn't go on sale the day it was on sale. I was like, thank God, finally someone is doing the way you're supposed to do it. Honestly, this year it feels like the cycle is finally turning back a little with Pal World and Helldivers. And hopefully these giant-ass corporations will learn something from this. That they just need to make fun video games. Which is why I will be buying Dragon's Dogma at full price, something that I only rarely do for games that I'm extremely confident that are going to be good. Not even custom sub badges. Guys, are you really going to sub to me more if I have a custom sub badge? I watch Twitch and I don't look at fucking sub badges ever. I don't even know what these little icons are next to the name and which ones indicate being a sub and which ones don't. Lethal Company 2, social games are popular? Yes. That and child horrors like Poppy Time. I mean, those are games for kids, which is fine. Video games are supposed to be for children instead of man-children. If kids want to, you know, 5,000 hours of Five Nights at Freddy's, then we'll give them more Five Nights at Freddy's, and then they can watch all the YouTube content about it or whatever the fuck it is that these poor Gen Alpha kids are doing right now. Some sick part of me wants to hear Baal complain after paying full price for Dragon's Dogma 2. My biggest complaint is that I won't have time to be playing it because, unfortunately, I have to draw my fucking comic. But I don't think... I have seen zero evidence that it's going to be anything but an amazing video game, so... People have been trying on 4chan... Dragon's Dogma threads for the last month and a half, trying to demotivate Dragon's Dogma believers, and it hasn't really worked. Everyone's like, no, it's so bad, it's gonna be bad, get fucked. But yeah, it looks really good. It's kind of funny that the PS5 is coming close to 4 years since its release, and it still doesn't have more than 3-4 games that you need to play there. Yes. Honestly, same thing for every platform, though. I remember when I was a teenager and I was like, oh no, do I have to buy all the consoles? I'm gonna miss playing this game and miss playing this game and miss playing this game if I only have these consoles. I have to have a GameCube too so I can play this. Switch has some exclusives, but I don't know. I don't really feel like I need to invest in it in any way. Everything's on fucking PC, and everything can be played on my shitty laptop, and yet I don't even play it. PC bros and Nintendies, they're basically the same people, let's be honest. Nintendies are just PC bros that can afford to own a second system. Unless they're like the PC bros that have to live in Brazil or something where all video games get weird taxes on them. Could you correlate the technical and graphic intensity of games taking most of the game's development? Games used to look like shit, but they were easy to develop. I mean, that's what we've been told, but I don't think that has much to do. And like, I understand that it might take longer in a development cycle, but if you're like fucking Microsoft and you have unlimited amounts of money and can hire like half the world to work on your video games if you wanted to. Like, think how much money Microsoft paid to buy Activision Blizzard for the IPs and shit. They could have used that money to actually be funding their own video game studios and hire people to actually make good video games and shit like that. And yet they produce nothing. Like, this is evidence A that the corporations that are like, we need to have IPs and stuff have just taken over. All of the money that they're using is being used to just like buy existing IP, just like Hollywood. They're not like, we should make a movie. They're like, we need to buy an IP. I seriously believe it's a problem of coordination and having people that actually knows how to do their job. Yes. I remember, see, this is really going to date myself, but there was some time in the mid-2000s where there was all these, like, normie publications like New York Times that were publishing articles that were like, hey, boomers, did you know that the video game industry makes more money, makes more revenue, makes more profit than Hollywood? And everyone was like, what? Oh my god! This is like 2005 or something like that. And then from there, the corporations started to be like, wow, we're like a serious money-making thing. And the whole industry went from a place where you had people who wanted to produce shit and actually make a video game to corporations whose primary goal were to make money, which is where you started getting DLC, and then you got DLC on steroids, which was gacha. And now we're sort of at that point where people are like, well, our industry is fucking just a gambling machine, and I'm not going to play anymore. So until people just stop playing, it's not going to swing back, but I think we're kind of on the other side, and we're starting to swing back now. More complex games need more people to develop them in a timely manner, which causes what you have said. Relatively small but focused and talented teams are much more productive. I mean, you can still make smaller games on a smaller scale. The AAA games that take forever are also developed by corporations which are super safe about what they want to produce, and also by teams that really don't have any kind of a creative leader or a vision on how they want their video game to be. Which is why we have such uninspired shit forever. Quad A games. I mean, did you see the Ubisoft recent pirate game that they were calling Quad A? Which is like the biggest fucking joke. It was like a pirate sim that has nice water effects and all. But you literally can't get off your boat and like board shit and walk around and stuff. Stuff they had in Ass Creed Black Flag like a decade and a half ago. And they couldn't fucking create a pirate sim in which you got to do pirate things. It's only ship combat. Skull and Bones, yes, that's right. Like if there's any evidence that you needed that this shit was like in the shitter, that's an excellent example. What the fuck do those A's mean? It means the amount of ass you have to lick. It means nothing. Thank God Todd Howard will never do such a rookie mistake. How many guys actually played Starfield here? I had a very brief moment where I was like, damn, I wish my PC was good enough to play Starfield. I really like sci-fi, and then it came out and I saw people actually playing it, and I was like, oh, I no longer have desire to play Starfield. That's okay. This whole cycle lasted about 3 hours. I was like, well, let's watch some Starfield streams. I'm like, okay, well, so much for that. It was dog shit. I think it was worse than dog shit. It was just like mid. I don't like the Zoomer word mid, but nothing describes Starfield better than mid. There's nothing to get excited about. It's not even bad in a fun way. It's neither good nor bad. It's just utterly uninspired. The saddest form of mediocrity. No one is even gonna make internet retrospectives on it like Fallout 76 because it's functional as a video game. There's just no reason to play it. And this was them going all out and trying their hardest. Dog shit game can be fun, but Starfield is literally mediocrity as a game. Yes. So if they had created something that was buggy as hell, but like ambitious and also like you could do cool things and cool shit happened, I think people would be like modding it and trying to fix it and have fun with it like they did with literally every other Bethesda game producing the game for the company, but nobody's doing that because it's so mid that nobody even wants to touch it. It's like waiting at the DMV or something. Just replay it over and over, yeah. And then the publicity campaign around it was particularly hilarious. Them being like, guys, the game doesn't start until your second playthrough. It's like, actually no, your game is fucking finished. Probably before you're even done with your first playthrough. It's like, guys, there's multiple universes where, you know, the location of the toilet is slightly different, guys. Oh my god, it's gonna mean so much. I would like to play it after 5 years of mods. Yeah, well, I have some bad news about that. Woo, sorry for being late, Ball. I was watching other stream. Poom, poom, poom. God, I fucking hate my chat. I thought it was because Starfield was so incompetently put together that not even seasoned modders would bother to make the thing playable. I kind of knew that it was doomed the moment that they were like, we're still going to use the same engine we've been using for the last 30 years. But for some reason I thought for a while that it would be like, you know, functional. And it is functional, if that's all you care about. He looks too old, but he's sort of aging within like a few seconds, so I guess this is fine. Actually surprising they use the same fucking engine all the time and they still don't manage to actually use it in a good way. I mean, they were using it in a good way, you know, 20 years ago in Oblivion. Nobody was doing what they were doing in Oblivion. It's like, wow, it's a real 3D world, open world RPG. This is mind-blowing. I love Morrowind. Woo, you know? No studio rerolls engines, bro. I mean, Capcom does. Which is why I'm like cooming for Capcom right now. I have my complaints about the RE engine. But, you know, they moved on from MT Framework to the RE engine. And the RE engine does lighting way better, which is actually really important if you want to have atmospheric set pieces like in RE4. Didn't Square almost die because of an engine? Square regularly dies because of their stupid expensive projects where they spend all of their money on trying to make a Hollywood film with 18 million hours of computer graphics, or all their money on some new engine or whatever. What does bother you about the RE engine? Just like, for example, the Unreal Engine, it has some very specific flavor to its graphics that I think works well in some situations and works poorly in other situations. I know the RE engine doesn't stand for Resident Evil, but it works very well for Resident Evil games, doing like these realistic faces and horror and stuff. And I don't think it's particularly well suited for cartoony shit like Street Fighter. Like, I don't think it fits well with Street Fighter at all, honestly. I kind of really hate the way Street Fighter 6 looks. Like, I understand that it's a graphical upgrade, but just like the feeling of it just feels off. It's not what I want from my Street Fighter game graphics. It doesn't properly translate. Some of it is the problem of the character models and not the engine, but part of it is the engine as well. But I only have good things to say about the engine when it comes to like the Resident Evil games. Like, I was kind of out on the RE4 remake until I actually bought it and played it. And now it really has turned me around on the possibility of how good remakes can be. Ball's still Madge. I mean, it's just like, it's kind of like your flagship. Look, my entire job is making sure girls look cute, you know? That's basically my only job, is drawing girls and making them look cute. So, when girls don't properly look hot, it's like, you know, catastrophic failure. Why is Cammy's eyebrows so low? Etc. That type of shit. Manon and her helmet bob. They also got the body type slightly wrong. They should have hired me as a muscular woman designer to show you the right amount of musculature and how to make her be like giga strong and huge and powerful looking, but also feminine and fuckable. Instead, she just sort of looks like a weird guy in a helmet hair wig. Yeah, Marissa. Manon also has a weird man face because they made her jaw too square and her face too long. I always get those two mixed up. That's another thing. They shouldn't have made both of the new characters start with the same letter name. That's too similar a name. Cammy has no eyebrow in Street Fighter 6. Exactly. The brow is too low, and she has no eyebrows. It looks really awkward. But I think there is like some fundamental problem with the engine and rendering. Like, it's too colorful and it's both too colorful and too drab at the same time in weird ways. And that comes from like the realistic lighting system that really isn't meant for games like Street Fighter. It's gonna look great in for Dragon's Dogma though, because Dragon's Dogma, even more than Resident Evil, is a game about lighting. It's about like being in dark areas and having torchlight and stuff like that. So I only have good things to say about what it's gonna be like, even though I haven't played the game yet. Justice to Zarya from Overwatch, better than OG art. She was hot on fan art. I mean, there's plenty of fan artists who can do better than the OG art, especially because they're trying to make it hot. The question is, can you model it in-game? Besides, no one's going to argue that old Overwatch girls weren't hot, right? The problem is the new Overwatch girls and Overwatch 2 LMAO. How's that sequel going there, Blizzard? You can have big traps and biceps, but that's optional. It's a delicate balance. I've said this again, but you have to be very careful about the amount of fat you give the female character, which isn't necessarily related to how much muscle. You can have a shit ton of fat and a shit ton of muscle at the same time. So women have more fat under their skin than male bodies, which makes them look rounder as a whole. And then they have wider hips than their shoulders. These are the two things you always have to remember when you're drawing a female character. And you can make them hypermuscular if you continue to give them some amount of fat and also keep their hips wide. If you don't do that, they look too masculine and look less fuckable. So Vanillaware recently released Unicorn Overlord, and Twitter has been all up over the gigantic lady and how much they want to have sex with her and how she's the last character that you get to fuck. Overlord. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, this is what I'm talking about. This thing. Here's your main character. You come up exactly to the height of her tits. Giga-sized woman. Big woman, yes. Beat me in a fight and I'm all yours. Instant boner. Everyone's like, whoa, I must have sexo with woman that is 1.5 feet taller than me. She's the hardest ally to recruit. Yes, you have to beat her. Snoo snoo. A proper woman must, her breasts must come up to your head when you are standing in front of her. Vanillaware understands this. Eye patch, yes. Eye patch also indicates sexo. Literally made for skull fucking. Unfortunately, Vanillaware is the last video game company that still protects us Coomers from the harsh reality of women not being attractive. So she can use you as a human boob rest. If you can't put your massive, gigantic milkers on top of my head when you're standing behind me and we're both standing up, you're not tall enough. Hides my poor eyeless gnome away. We're probably never going back to that campaign, let's be honest. I think the DM is kind of done. I don't think he wants to do Rise of Tiamat. Chestlets wouldn't understand. I know, right? If your boobs aren't large enough to suffocate me, please get out. Street Fighter 4 girls look good, base Econo. I think Street Fighter 4 character models peaked at 3, especially Chun-Li. The Chun-Li Street Fighter 3 sprites are like absolute maximum coom. It's not even close. She has never looked as attractive as she did in Street Fighter 3. And basically they should base her off her Street Fighter 3 sprites going forward. Look at this shit, bro. Look at the fucking thighs and the posture. Now that's some Giga Coomer right here. Look at the size of the ass. And like the shininess of it. How can I parry these fucking supers when I'm too busy looking at her crotch? The Hulk hands, the massive feet? Yeah. That's part of the appeal. If you don't find that stuff attractive, then you're not prepared for Chun-Li to begin with. Now show her getting parried. I'm sorry, but I don't want to traumatize Justin anymore, just in case he's watching the stream. He's suffered enough. He doesn't need to be remembered of Daigo owning his soul every moment of his life. How do you feel about Cammy or Juri? Juri is the only character in Street Fighter 6 that looks 100% correct. Like, everything about the character model looks good. Everybody else has, like, weird flaws that I'm like, what the fuck? Lily looks good with her new costume, actually. The one with the sombrero and pigtails. It was really her hair that was fucking shit up. This one. This was like the first time I was like, maybe I should play Street Fighter 6. When I saw the Lily sombrero costume, I was like, thank God they finally have a decent... Also, she's a naval Coomer. Kimberly's forehead is awful. But us fellow naval Coomers are all in. Her face still kind of looks a little weird. Her ears are too big, but it's within acceptable range. That looks totally different from her character in game. Unfortunately, the concept arts are way, way, way better for Street Fighter 6 than the characters in game. I don't know why they had to give so many of their characters such stupid hair. It's really painful, honestly. Capcom's 2D art team's so good. I don't know why there's still such a... Like, Capcom still has the same 2D art team they had from the 90s, most of the people. And the new ones they got are people who are, like, inspired by the 90s games, so they're super high quality. The problem is, like, the translation from the 3D art, from the 2D art to the 3D art, where shit goes wrong. Poison Street Fighter V model had that problem. There was some Street Fighter V models that were weird. Ibuki definitely looked weird. Her eyes weren't focused in the right way. Ken was famous in Street Fighter V for having that weird-ass banana hair, which was more of probably like the art style as a whole, not meshing with Ken. Yeah, there were a bunch of weird shit in Street Fighter V as well. That just looked weird. The thing that bugs me in Street Fighter 6 is that almost all the weird looking characters look weird. That the ones are like, they're all female. There aren't many male characters that look weird. They're all female. Like, if you're gay and you want your Bara content, then Ryu looks great. And Zangief looks great. All the guys look great. And I don't know if the ESG got to them or whatever, and they were like, no, you can't make the females that fappable. You have to tone it down or something, which wouldn't make sense because they still have Cammy's exposed thong in the game, so I think it's more incompetence than, like, on purpose. You said the B word. I've summoned Hystrixia from the depths of hell. If you say the B word 3 times in front of a mirror, Hystrixia shows up with a bunch of Bara Dojins. Hystrixia is literally those ASCII art animals that are like this. She's one of these things. She appears from underneath her dark rocks when she hears men. I know he's going to post. Yeah, they just show up out of nowhere. Is this accurate? Yeah. She walks around on all fours. Click, 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 click. The insectoid Fujoshi appears. To be fair, Hystrixia isn't even that high power level compared to some of the true Fujoshi, because she doesn't go and like pursue real life humans and do coupling of men on men action. Like the real Fujoshi are watching sports entirely so that they can do gay coupling of real life people. They'll be like, oh, see those 2 men standing next to each other? It's because they're gay. I'm not that cringe. There was Otani got married recently, and he posted photo of him and his wife on the tarmac with the other Dodgers players. I wonder if I can find the photo. And the Fujoshi were up in arms because not because of Otani getting married, because they're not that's not the Fujoshi target. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. I probably have to go to the Japanese internet for it. The reason why I'm talking about it is because there was a photo of Otani with his giga huge wife, but the other photo of it was one of the other Japanese players, and he was standing next to, I guess, his translator, and it looked like they were holding hands. The 2 guys were holding hands. So all the Fujoshi were like, yes, it's homo lust time. Huge? Is the guy that tall that his girl being near his height means she's a Giga Stacy too? I mean, he's like, what, 6'3" or something, I think. He's 6'4", so she's like 6'2" or so, probably. He's properly passing on his Giga Chad genes by marrying a good Giga Stacy. She's like a basketball player or something, so whoever is tall enough in Japan, who has those superior Japanese Yamato Damashi genes, they need to be passed on properly. Listen here, you woman, men are the only ones that can be weird. On this topic, I've recently started watching some shoujo anime. because I need to fill my brain with romance junk because I'm writing romance manga right now. And man, shoujo is like, you know, the standard shonen rom-com, except on like the hardest steroids possible. It really is like a mirror image of each other, except shoujo goes harder. It's extremely cringe is what I'm saying. Which ones did you settle on? I'm currently watching the anime on Crunchyroll, Sign of Affection, which is a shoujo manga about sheltered deaf girl suddenly gets swept off her feet someday by random white-haired ikemen showing up. And because she's deaf, she has to take zero sort of agency in her life, and Ikemen-kun does everything for her. That's not how you're supposed to watch it, but yeah. It's pretty cringe. Shoujo always goes harder. When shonen manga is being like, oh my god, I tripped and I saw her panties! Whoops! How did that happen? Shoujo manga is like, oh, you want sexual content? MC-chan is getting raped. She's getting raped now. Yep. Time for rape. And she's like, oh no, Ikemen-kun has raped me. Is it because he likes me? Doki doki doki. Oh no, he's white-haired. He's white-haired and he has thick lips. The author has tried very hard to focus on the lips to make them as kissable as possible. Don't worry, Ikemen-kun. Even if you rape MC-chan, if after the rape you're like, I'm sorry, MC-chan, I couldn't hold myself back. When I thought about that other guy who also likes you taking you away from me, I realized I had to make you mine right now before he could kiss you, which is why I just raped you. And she's like, I understand. He loves me so much. But I also like man B as well. He was so forceful. What could this mean? Yeah. In the first 2 minutes of this shoujo that I'm watching, the white-haired Ikemen-kun puts his head on her and pats her in their first random meet-cute encounter on the train. Now, for all you ugly men in chat, patting random girls on a train, patting their head, is a good way to get you fucking arrested, unless you're an Ikemen-kun. Western romance is also similar to shoujo. What are you saying the implications of this are? Gentle rogue. Don't worry, girls. He's a rogue. He's a fucking pirate. He's gonna rape you, but, you know, gently. She's like, oh no, Mr. Pirate. Don't take my virginity. Teehee. Fabio. The original Giga Chad right here. The Giga Chad before the Giga Chad. These supernatural hot men are fighting over me and one of them raped me, yes. For the anime that I'm talking about, she also has a childhood friend who knows how to use sign language because she's deaf. He learned how to speak sign language just to say mean things to her. He's been using sign language since they were in elementary school so he can say mean things to her and bully her. And she's like, what could this childhood friend, what could this mean? Why is he always so mean to me? Tee-hee, I don't understand why. And he's about to get cucked by random white-haired stranger that shows up one day. And I have to say that the childhood friend that gets cucked by the new character archetype, it works way worse in shoujo, especially in a worldview where you're basically, if you're an ikemen, and they're all ikemen except like one or two guys who are designated not to be ikemen, you can basically do whatever to the female MC because you're an ikemen. You can just like show up one day and you can push her against the wall and be like, I'm gonna fucking kidnap you and make you mine and stuff, and she'll be like, oh no. So if you're the childhood friend and haven't confessed your love and, you know, been aggressive to MC-chan in the last 20 years, you kind of deserve to get cucked. It's not like the shonen side of things where neglected childhood friend Chan can just go after MC-kun and, you know, reverse rape him with her vagina. This is shoujo, so it's really like if you snooze, you lose territory. He only has himself to blame. Fabio is pretty much just a concept at this point. All men in chat, if you don't have Fabio's jaw, you're a failure as a man. You know how Koreans are always getting like their jaw sawn off so they look like they have that sharp jawline? If you think about it, it sucks that we can't like get extra jaw like Fabio. Let's look up recent photos of Fabio. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's not doing very well. Also, he got hit by a goose when he was on a roller coaster, so it's amazing that he's not dead. Haha, what? It's fucking real. It almost killed him, I think. Fabio hit by goose? $19.99. Oh shit, is there video footage of it? God damn, he's handsome. I guess birds aren't that heavy, so it's not going to take off his neck or anything. I've never actually seen footage of it. Maybe it hadn't... Damn, look at his ass. Oh god, she's ovulating right now. She's like, let's go! All the women behind them are like, fuck. These chicks got the seats next to Fabio. Oh, I get it. Because it's called Apollo's Chariot. They needed someone to be Apollo, so they're like, we're gonna have Fabio and we're gonna have a bunch of Greek maidens. Chat, has any woman looked at you like these women are looking at Fabio right now? I think not. This is what it looks like when a woman is drenched wet and ovulating just by you being next to them. They're all like, tee hee, ha ha ha, oh. Alright, let's fucking go. Tragedy strikes in 5 more seconds. Oh shit. Holy fuck. They're not ovulating anymore. Well, she is, but... I guess he, like, took it. I guess it's not his blood. He's just like, shit, man. The goose fucking exploded. The kids are like, holy shit, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Fabio killed something with his face. Tragedy strikes. Unfortunately, there's no footage of it actually slamming into his face, sadly. I was hoping that we would get the camera. If it was today, there would have been someone with a cell phone camera and we would have got to see it. The goose was ovulating. Yeah. I have had other women look at me like this, but I am not gay, so I could not reciprocate. Were they also goths? This implies that a woman has looked at me. The feeling when you're not even ugly bastard and people don't even look at you to, like, avoid you. Feels bad, man. Yes. Page am I gonna work on now? The goose didn't survive the hit. Birds, they have very low durability. That's what allows them to fly. Also had a girl follow me around a bookstore once before in my teens. My autistic brain had no idea what was happening until later. Don't worry, she was just a serial killer. It wasn't anything weird like trying to have sex with you. Yes, I've had a weirdo guy who I'm not sure was gay and autistic, or high, try and ask me out when I was working as a lifeguard at the local YMCA. He was asking other people out as well, so I think it was severe mental illness instead of homosexuality. I think the manager had to ask him to leave the premises. Many such cases.
Dang it up.
We had a guy like that in our high school. It's harder to make them leave if they go to your high school, or if they actually go to high school. If it's just someone walking into the high school, you can kick them out. This dwarf might be a little too short. He should come higher than the waist of the main character, I think. Some guys are horny, they just go insane. Like, they just literally go insane from horniness. There was a guy who stabbed someone, I think, in Japan recently, and his complaint was because the people at the store that were talking to him, you know, to help him with product buying were all men, and the women weren't talking to him or something. And I was like, Jesus Christ. This guy isn't even an incel, he's like a giga incel. Or he's just insane. It's hard to tell the difference. In fact, one might say there is no difference. He's not thick enough. Wide. Come, boy. I can't wait for the beach episode. Drac in a Speedo. Dwarves don't go into the ocean. Dwarves are land-bound creatures. You know what happens in every beach episode that is even like lightly fantasy related? A fucking tentacle monster shows up. Come on, boy. It's either a tentacle monster or a giant crab. If it's a giant crab, it always is gonna snip the bikinis, right? That is nature's way. Yes, snips the bikini straps. We have learned from our ancestors that is how the ocean must be. If it's hentai, then a bunch of tan guys show up and it's like, hey, Kanojo Tachi, girls there, what are you doing? Did your boyfriend go away? Let's have fun with us. And depending on whether it's a rom-com in which the MC comes back and it's like, fuck off, these are my girls, and they're like, heh. Shut up. I didn't care anyways, and then they go away. Or if it's hentai, then the girls are gonna get NTR'd, but one or the other. Or shave ice stand. $800. You need nightly dares where they go, the Japanese word is kimodameshi, which is like, you know, spooky stuff. To go and go to a graveyard or something, and then she's like, "Cha, I'm scared, MC-kun. Now's my chance to hold his hand in the dark." They bag in the shaved ice stock room behind the stand. I think it's more common where they have sex behind the rock in the part of the ocean where there's no one watching. There's always like a conveniently placed rock off to the side in the ocean, and the beach isn't super crowded, which is very realistic, of course. So you can just go behind the rock and stand up, Hirorin Chan up against the rock and NTR her, and she's like, no. What if MC-kun sees me having multiple orgasms or something like that? Or in the water. Yeah, every once in a while they'll have sex in the water, and MC-kun will be watching from shore, being like, huh, what's she doing there? Oh, it's probably no big deal, not realizing that Giga Chad's penis has been inserted inside his childhood friend or something. There's that pattern as well, I guess. Either the room, the rocks, or the stock room with the boxes. There's also, sometimes there's shower rooms that you can use for. Honestly, I don't see the stock room very often. I can't even think of any stock room situations. I think the general feel for the porn authors is if they're going to the ocean and drawing an ocean scene, they don't want to be, you know, ruining the scene by just having it in a normal storage room, right? Even if that's the most realistic. Which is why you have sex behind the rock. That way it's like the ocean environment. I've seen too many people try to do that IRL ocean sex. The ocean is not to be fucked with, literally. A lot of bad things can happen in the ocean, and even if horrible things don't happen, it's probably not very comfortable. Sand in the vagina. Honestly, the ocean is kind of the worst, if you think about it. It used to be like if you're going out into the ocean, you're gonna like, half the time you're gonna just fucking die. And now people have convinced themselves that it's a nice habitable place when it's definitely not. They were just going at it. Was it a male and a female, or... The fact that she seems not very excited means it probably was a male and a female. If it was hot gay sex, she'd be much more energetic about talking about it. I don't like sex in water, but what if you're having sex with Tentacle Monster? Two Baraman having hetero sex with each other. Many such cases. When you're completely straight, sometimes you just have to have hot sex with your best friend male.
I think for myself too, you go in places that, even though it's physical,
I don't really see gay males having sex in water too often unless it's shower sex.
Fisting is $300.
Fisting is $300. It's not gay because water is in between. True. I remember in middle school, we had to take like sex ed 3 times, and like they specifically talked about like, hey kids, the internet might be telling you that you can, you won't have to use a condom if you're having sex in a pool because the chlorine is going to kill the sperm. And have you ever considered all the sperm that gets inside the womb? I was just like, what the fuck are these people talking about? Use a condom, always! Like, thanks, Mr. Sex Ed. It's a good thing I've had to take this course like for the 5th time. I'm definitely going to use this information. It most definitely will not be going to waste. If you use water-based lube, it's not gay. I mean, any kind of lube, it's not gay. The lube is in the way between of your ass and your penis. If you have a condom, it's not gay. If there's any kind of atomic particles in between the lining of his asshole and your penis, you're basically not touching, so it's just like, you know, communal masturbation, which we all know isn't gay either, so. Not in the ocean. The water makes it no homo. Honestly, aren't we all, as sailors, married to the ocean? Who are we really having sex with? Our fellow sailor comrades or the ocean? The mother of all life. Someone on Discord said that if BaalBud had a podcast, he'd just be talking about the same things he talks about on stream. Gay sex, and I'm like, how would you know that? But once again, chat has been proven right. We went a solid hour or 2 hours without talking about gay sex, but here we go again. Honestly, as long as the Gotchi's playlist is scheduled, obviously we're going to have to talk about gay sex at some point, so... Can someone slip me the name of the playlist? Here, I'll post the link. I just Google Gotchi Mix and it shows up, so... You showed Grak and put on Gotchi? Grak is just a normal dwarf, guys. You're the one who's sexualizing him and saying he's Gotchi. But he's just a standard, wholesome dwarf. He's extremely heterosexual. He wastes all of his money on buying prostitutes and alcohol. Playlisting is $300. You know I don't do anal. Grak is a man of simple pleasures, yes. Whoring, drinking, gambling, killing undead. Feels good, man. Man, I'm so ready for Dragon's Dogma. I got my Giga Chad Paladin. Not Paladin, I guess he's gonna be a fighter warrior. Ready to go. White male with a strong jaw. Dark elf companion. Pictures, you'll see him when I stream it. Although, I don't know when I'll be able to stream it because, how does it work? I'm probably going to meet a high school friend on Saturday, which fucking sucks. I hate having to meet people, but I wanted to just be like, I'm sorry, I can't meet you because I have to game. But I figured that would kind of be like a little too mean. Too antisocial even for me, so I'm gonna game after I come back. It's what? It's Monday, so we're gonna go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I guess I can just buy it on Friday and then stream it on Friday as well. BB's meeting up with childhood friend Chan. She is a female, but unfortunately she's not attractive, so... Anybody who's like, friendship cannot happen between a man and a woman is ignoring the large percentage of people out there who are too attractive to be, you know, ever considered as a sexual or romantic partner, so... It's not like our animes where literally every single girl, including the NPCs, especially the NPCs, are attractive. And the only way they can signal that a female is unattractive is to give her glasses and freckles and not show her eyes behind the glasses. So you know that she's either secretly hot and you have to take her glasses off, or you're not supposed to sexualize her or whatever.
We must pull up our pants, dust ourselves off.
Glasses and freckles, I'm going to bust. No. Glasses and freckles mean that she's ugly, guys. You cannot coom.
Touch me there. Deep dark fantasy. It's so fucking deep.
So proud of you, BB. I haven't cut all ties with human society, I guess. I haven't seen her in like the last, I don't know, 3 years. Definitely pre-pandemic was the last time I saw her, so I figured I would at least do that much. Anime girls are made to appeal to males' fantasy. Yes. I said I was watching shoujo, and the way they indicate that the guy is not supposed to be hot is they have the standard ikemen-kun as usual, because shoujo can only draw ikemen, but they give him like the octopus lips in this one, these ones. The other guys also have thick lips, but it's like this. It's like thick but kissable, and then she's indicated you're not supposed to be attracted to this guy because I give him the cartoonish octopus lips. Ball gonna get laid. I fucking hate this chat. I literally can't see any other human being without people being like, oh my god, his childhood friend has finally showed up. He's gonna have sex now. I'm like, Jesus Christ. If I posted pictures of this person, you wouldn't be making these comments. I wish I lived in that fucking fantasy fictional universe where literally every character that shows up in my life is a potential romantic interest, or at least is extremely attractive. Unfortunately, this is not the case. We are just kidding around. I don't care. I hate chat on a daily basis. And then kidding around makes me hate it even more. Hate you too? Uh-huh. We love you on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. Fucking chat, man. I'm trying to have a more antagonistic relationship with my chat, but unfortunately my chat doesn't fully reciprocate. I was watching Super last night, and the only thing his chat does the entire time is shit on him and about how bad a video gamer he is. I was sort of looking for that, but unfortunately I'm too much of a god tier artist for anyone to actually shit on my quality of work, so everyone is too on me. All they can do is suggest that I have sex with my high school friends or something. You're an antagonist, alright. Not if you guys interpret me as a tsundere. Then I'm not even an antagonist. I could walk up and like have a shopping cart full of dead babies, and you guys would be like, haha, he's just being tsum to all those dead babies. He's all just such a tsundere baby murderer. We will shit on your gaming, I swear, not with Dragon's Dogma. I'm a Dragon's Dogma veteran. You'll see my full power when I throw my pawn into the brine.
The other night, one of the boys was sleeping. I reached out and licked his dick. It really turned me on.
Baka. It's not like I care about you at all, Baka. Nandakara ne. Don't get the wrong idea, Baka. Except I know you would never get a basket full of dead babies. Yeah, I don't even know where I could procure them. One dead baby, much less a full basket. Can we call Pawn Summoning Stone a pawn shop? Yes. Also, I don't consider pawns to be pawns. I just pretend that they're like NPCs. I don't like the whole setting behind the Dragon's Dogma plot. I think it's stupid. I think they're trying to make it too... It's just like the Chosen Undead shit for Dark Souls. It's like, I get it. You want to have some sort of reason in which... reasoning for why the character gets to come back to life a million times, but it's not necessary. We all understand we're playing a video game. I've always thought all that lore shit was unneeded, and I still feel it that way. It's like, I don't really need a reason why I have a bunch of NPCs. I know where to get dead people. Haha, she's just joking, chat. Restrixia only has one dead baby in her garage, not 30. Church or cemetery? Hold on, let me Google dead baby jokes. How did the dead baby cross the road? It was stapled to the chicken. How many dead babies does it take to paint a house? Depends how hard you throw them. What's blue and hangs on a tree? A dead baby. What's green and hangs on a tree? Same baby a week later. I don't think that's accurate. If they guess baby, you answer with an apple, you sick bastard. What's worse than 10 dead babies in a garage garbage can? One dead baby in 10 garbage cans. That's not true. It's definitely worse to have 10 dead babies in a garbage can. Just based on like the actual weight of carrying the garbage can out to the garbage, to the curb. It's a pain in the ass. Does anyone remember that fully tasteless jokes book I had a copy for a long time? This is all Reddit. What's the difference between a truckload of bowling balls and a truckload of dead babies? You can't unload a truckload of bowling balls with a pitchfork. Yeah, you probably could, actually. Because, like, there's the holes in the bowling balls. And you could probably just, like, poke the bowling balls with a pitchfork and roll them off the back of the truck. Also, it would be, like, way heavier, I think. I mean, how much does a dead baby weigh? What's funnier than a dead baby? A dead baby in a clown costume, etc., etc.
They're really turning me on. Natural.
The babies are lighter, because like a baby's like 4 pounds, like 5 pounds, right? And a lot of the bowling balls are going to be at lightest they're going to be 6, and heavier they're going to be like 12 or 14 pounds. So it'd be way harder to unload the bowling balls than the dead babies.
What the hell are you doing? I told you last time not to come by.
Boy next door. Alright guys, I'm going to end the stream here. See you around guys. Good night. I'm just going to be grinding my comic for a while. That's what's going to be happening. Because Solus is preparing the voice actors and shit. So that means I'm not necessarily working on a deadline, but, you know, there's other people down the pipeline that need to get fed my manga. See you around. Good night.